Since it's a really nice, bright, sunny day once again, we're going to pop outside, and today we're going to take a look at that Greenstalk planter. We're going to leave the compost in it that we had in last year. I'm going to take a tiny bit out, top it up with nutrients, and then put some fresh compost on top. And then it's good to go all over again. So let's get out there, get it amended, put it back together and get some plants in. Because according to weather, starting on the 31st of this month, we've got 8 days of full sun and no wind. So it's a very good time to get these plants in, because if they're in little packs, they're going to start to grow really fast, and you don't want to have problems with root-bound plants. So this is where we're at the moment. As you can see, I've took a bit of compost out and then I've put some feed in it, and that's slow release feed as well. And that is what it is. Miracle Grow all-purpose plant food. This is a water collector, and it's got lots of little holes in the bottom if you've not seen those before. The idea is that they just sit on top of there, and the top part of this planter collects rainwater and then it evenly disperses it between each level into these trays, so everything gets an equal watering. So now we've added that feed, I'm just going to top it off with new compost, breaking lumps up as we go. Make sure we get plenty in there as well. And the fact that it spins makes life a little bit easier too. Just make sure that stays seated where it needs to be. Just slightly firming it down as well, not going too mad. It'll settle itself over time. And that's one layer amended and topped up. We'll just get this next level on. It can be a bit tricky when you first do them, but you'll get used to it. Just got to line them up and they'll drop straight in. And as I go, I'm just churning this compost up, making it nice and loose, and you can see there's no roots in this compost as such, and that's why it's good enough to use for a second year. So a bit of feed in each pocket. And then top it up. This is the top level. This collects rainwater and then distributes it to all those levels. And you can just fill it up with a watering can or an hose pipe if you want and start that process. So we'll get this last level on and then we can start planting. So I'm just going to pop some water in this and we'll start that self-watering process. And you'll know when it's all watered because it'll start coming out at the bottom. So there we go. A quick, easy job. It's all been amended, put back together, and it's now ready for those plants going in. And if you've never had one of these before, make sure you level it hard. You don't want it leaning one way or other, because if those winds get up, it could knock it over. It never fell over all last year, and we did have some really bad winds, so that part, very important. If you remember, I mentioned earlier in season I was going to use this just as a salad planter. We can get 7 levels of different varieties of lettuce leaves and all sorts of things in this planter, so then we can just pick and mix all in one area. I'm not putting anything in that top level because I'm going to get some violas for that. It's going to add a bit of colour and also attract pollinators. So this one will be left empty and we'll start putting them in this level. And that is also an easy job because we'll just make a good size hole with that dibber, spin it and carry on until we've done every hole in advance. And we're making them nice and deep as well. First thing I'm going to be putting in is these. And if you've seen a previous video, you'll notice they've already grown quite a bit bigger in just a few days. So let's get a few out. Plenty of roots on those. And then we'll just level them out. And I like to make them face outwards a little as well. We're just making sure we've buried them nice and deep so they don't topple over. That's one in. So just firm it in. Make sure all those roots are buried and have it leaning outwards slightly. That's the way I like to do it anyway. That one has got loads of roots. So that's his last one in. And then we're going to do a level of something different. Next up, I'm going to put some of these in. And once again, look how these little plants have come on. Brilliant. So same as before, nice deep holes. We'll get some of these plants out. That's a really healthy looking plant right there. These have also got plenty of roots. So straight in, press it down nice and firm. We've got a nice little lettuce on way. Make sure you plant your lettuces deep. It'll make them more stable. And again, that's his last one going in. So just one more level to do. And last, we'll add some beetroot. These can be a bit tricky, so be careful when you take out multi-sown beetroot, because it can start to break apart. Just grab that bunch, and again we'll just pop that straight into that pre-made hole, really deep. If you just keep pressing them cells, they'll come out that bit easier. But look how many roots they've already got. Let's get that in. That's a nice bunch of leaves to come. So this season's salad planter is on its way, and we've still got 3 levels left to put other things in, so I might get a few different plants, and when we add those flowers to the top, it's going to look even better. This is progress we've got on that mixed salad leaf and spinach. It's still growing quite slow, but once we get to a point where we can take a bunch of those out, we'll add those to that planter as well. Once again, it feels really good to be getting more things growing in this caravan container garden. And you can see that those planters are really easy to set up. But even better, year after, if you're only using shallow rooted plants like we do, you can just take out a bit of that compost, add some feed, top it up, and it's ready to go again. And it won't cost you as much as the first time. And if you're interested in one of those planters, they're called a Greenstalk planter, and you can get them from a place called Rooted in Bolton. I'll leave a link in description so you can pop over to their website and take a look at what they've got to offer. And I believe they're the only UK suppliers of those particular planters. And they're also a non-profit organisation that works really closely with charities and churches. So definitely a worthwhile cause. So we'll get back to that when I get hold of some more plants. We'll get it completely set up, pop them flowers on top, and I think we've got a really good display and a very productive planter for 2025. Anyway, thank you so much for being part of the channel, and thank you so much to the people that made a couple of super thanks donations. And I'll pop your names up on screen at the end of this video. So thank you so much for your generosity. It really is appreciated. So that's it for this video, but since we've got 8 days of full sun and no wind, don't we? I'll certainly be back very shortly. And if you want to see what else we're going to be planting as we approach this good weather, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell. I'll see you up next one. Take care.